harmonizing the major scale. What does it mean? If you have a scale, a major scale, right? Okay, that's a major scale. But what do we do with this scale? We can use it to improvise over song, or we can use it in a very intelligent way by adding to each of these notes two more notes. So which ones? We add to each of these notes their own third and their own fifth. So if I want to add to this note, which is C in this case, this third and this fifth, then I can build a chord, and I'm harmonizing the C note. So it will not be a melody anymore, one single note, but it will be an harmony. C, E, and G. I have harmonized the first note of the C major scale. And we have the first chord built out of this concept, C major chord, right? So you might ask, but you said we only add two notes to that first note, C. Yes, but then why are you playing 6 notes? 6 strings, right? I'm not playing 6 notes, I'm playing actually 3 notes on 6 strings. Some of the notes are double. For instance, C, it's double. It's 2 octaves higher than this. C, you can hear it's higher, but it's still C. And then I'm having the third, which is like C is the first, the second doesn't count, the third counts, which is E. The fourth doesn't count, we don't play that. We play the fifth. So we have the first root tone, C in this case, E is the third, G is the fifth. So the third is played 3 times in 3 strings, here, here, and here. And G is played 1 time. So even though I'm playing 6 strings, I'm actually playing only 3 notes. Right? Okay, now we have harmonized the first note. Let's go to the second note of the scale. That's the second note, right? We're going to add to this note its third and its fifth. The third of D is F, which is here. It's also here. It's also here. And the fifth of D is A. So I have D as an empty string. I also have it here. Then I have the third, which is F. In this case, the third is 1.5 tone away from the first. In the case of C, the third, which is E, it's 2 tones away. And this is what makes the difference between a major chord and a minor chord like we are having now on the second position. D is the root tone, F is a minor third because it's 1.5 tone away from the first, which is D. And then we have A, which is over here on the third string, which is the fifth or the perfect fifth of D. And this gives us, because of this characteristic of having this F here, which is 1.5 tone away from D, we're having a minor chord, D minor. So the second chord in every harmony, it's minor. Let's go to the third note. Let's harmonize the third note. So the first note was C, the second note was D, the third note is now E. Let's add to E its third and its fifth. What is the third of E? Well, in the C to lighter, sorry, the C scale, I'm speaking German sometimes. In the C scale, the third of E is, here's E, 1, 2, 3, it's G, okay? Which happens to be 1.5 tone away from E. Every fret counts for a half a tone. So if I'm starting, I'm going half a tone, 1 tone, 1.5 tone. That's G. That means that this third chord will also be minor, right? Because I have between the first and the third, I'm having 1.5 tones. And then between the third and the fifth, I'm having 2 tones. And this makes the chord minor. So we were saying, what is the third of E? It's G. And what is the fifth of E? It's B, right? Which is also here. So E minor is the third chord in the sequence of the C major harmony. First chord is C major, second chord is D minor, third chord is E minor. Let's go and harmonize the fourth note. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's F. So F is the first. A is the third. This time A, it's 2 tones away from F. That means that this next chord here, this F chord, will be major. And then I have C, which is the fifth. Okay? So I'm having F major. That's the fourth passage in the harmonizing of the scale of C. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm having G is the fifth chord. Well, because G is the fifth note of the scale of C. So what is the third of G? What is the third of G? Well, what comes in the scale of C? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's now G. 2, 3. It's this one here, which is B. The third of G is B. And B happens to be 2 tones away from G, which makes this interval a major third interval. Okay? And that means that this chord is now major. And then the fifth of G is D. This is G and this is D. So then we're having the fifth passage of the harmony. It's also a major chord. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the sixth chord, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A. Okay? So what do we have as a third interval, considering A as the first, right? It's C. C is 1.5 tone away. You might say, why not 2 tones away? Well, because that would be C sharp. We don't have C sharp in the scale of C, do we? We only have natural tones, notes in the scale of C. So obviously, the only possible third from A is C. And being 1.5 tone away, that makes this chord a minor chord, A minor. So the third is C and the fifth is E. So A is here, is the root tone, E is over here, which is the fifth, perfect fifth, and C is down here on the second string, which is the small or minor third. And then we have A minor. So one more time: C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then we have now the seventh chord, which is the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what do we have now? We have a small third, right? Which is D, and then we have another small third, which then we have another small third. I'm adding a 7 there, which is kind of going out of the diatonic scale, but I prefer to use this B diminished 7, even though it has a note which is this E flat, which does not belong to the scale of C. But some people use this as seventh chord in the sequence of chords. And other people use instead half diminished chord, which would be B half diminished, or also called B minor 7 flat 5. But in this case, every one of these notes belongs to the diatonic scale of C, and then it's more comfortable for our hearing. There's not so much tension there. All right, so the seventh passage would be this one here, right? B half diminished chord. I prefer to use usually this B diminished 7 chord. There's more tension there. And then I'm resolving that in C, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the octave, the resolving note. So one more time: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7 if you prefer, 8, right? C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished 7, C. We'll talk a bit more about this maybe in the next video. Ciao.